Okay, so before I quickly just show you some how easy it is to put in some additional backdrops into your images, I'm just going to, with our textures that I created before, I'm just going to select both of these by holding Shift and clicking on both of them and putting them in a group by clicking on the folder icon. I'm just going to name those FX and press Enter. So I'm actually going to hide that so I can show you more clearly changing the background in the image. So like we had before, we basically only have our subject group and the shadows underneath, and then it's just our backdrop. So all we need to do to add in different backdrops into your image is just select the topmost background layer that you have, which is this one here for us, background copy. And I'm just going to navigate to the folder where we have some other backdrops. So one of the things with your images and your backdrops, it's always good to choose a backdrop that matches your image theme relatively well. So for example, we could put the baby like this one here. So I've just clicked and dragged that one into the image, and if I just double click to confirm that transform, we now have a different backdrop here. So if you were to decide that you wanted to put your subject into a different backdrop, you could then go ahead and start to retransform the backdrop by Control T and adjusting it to fit your subject into it. And then we could just select our subject and shadow layer and put that in a group. I'm just going to do edit transform, free transform, sorry. And just do a rotate on the subject and position them almost like, like the baby is actually sleeping on that swing there. So yeah, you could do things like changing the transform of your subject using clicking on your background and doing different transforms to, edit, free transform, and doing different, trying out different backgrounds on your subject. So this background is good because the work that we did previously to blend the subject onto that backdrop that we had here, the lighting in this backdrop is similar, but it's obviously a different color. So you could, once you're more comfortable with, or if you are comfortable with color adjustment, you could then just begin the process of adjusting the colors on the subject to blend them in more closely to the new scene. So I'm just doing this quickly just to demonstrate, but for example, I've just added one single curves adjustment on that subject group, and I've quickly been able to just basically change the colors alone and do a couple of transforms on the image, like move it around, and now we're pretty close already to having the subject in a new backdrop. So yeah, once you're comfortable with those things, you can do these kinds of things quite quickly. But it's just an example of using different backdrops in your image, with your subject. So if I just go back a little, if I just go right back to where we were initially, like here. If we had, so that's just one. I picked that backdrop because of the lighting is similar, like it's coming from the top with this one. We've got the lighting coming from up the top there. It's basically just the color difference in the image. Another one, so it's the same process with any of our backdrops. You just can drag them into your scene and place your subject in the backdrop. So again, I'll just show you this one, for example, if we were to do the same thing. So I want to keep the shadow on the subject together. So I will just select both of these layers and group them. And then I'll just leave the backdrop. I won't do a transform on the actual backdrop here. I'll just leave it, if we can see here, I'll just leave it scaled out to the original size that we were using for the previous backdrop. And if I just go edit free transform again on the subject group, I'll just move the baby down here and just position them as though they are kind of laying on the floor here in the middle of the scene. The lighting in this one is a little different, but just doing a basic color adjustment, you'll see that it should come up looking quite good already just with the colors changed. So there's light kind of coming from the background here in this direction. But if we do the same thing, I'll just demonstrate. If I just add a single curves to this group here by clipping it on, and if I just add some blue into the image, we're already getting the subject coming nice and close to the colors in the scene here. Take a little bit of that green away. Take a little bit of that red away. Just to get it looking like that subject is really there in that scene. And we could do further refinements, but you can see that it's already looking much better. And we can then make some adjustments to our shadow so it's not so harsh. Anyway, it's just an example of the different things that we can do with our backdrops and subjects. So yeah, that was just a quick example of just bringing different backdrops in and different ways you can use them and how to transform them by going up to edit free transform and just moving them around. Yeah. So with that, we are now going to move on to the final touches in our original image. Just different effects that I recommend you can try out for yours. And then we will export the image in maintaining the maximum quality. And then, yeah, that'll be it. So let's move on to that now.